Yeah, so my project is called the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States, or ALIS for short. And it's a 501c3 nonprofit, student-run nonprofit organization dedicated to the advancement of our communities. So some of the activities we've been doing are things like, helping out food banks, beautification of parks, playing music at senior centers, things like that. And especially in the last year since COVID hit, we've also been focusing on fundraising for face masks and other PPE to donate to hospitals and other areas around both in my local region in Arizona, but also like on a national scale to just high-risk areas in general.
Yeah, nice. Describe the process of coming up with and starting your project.
Yeah, so I actually did not found ALIS. It was founded back in 2015, but I did start my own branch in Arizona called the Phoenix branch. And that I kind of started based off of some friends I knew in other states who had their own branches. And I thought what they were doing within their community was really cool. And I wanted to kind of spread the same message in my community since Arizona didn't have an ALIS branch yet. And that's kind of how we started in Arizona. And how I got involved on like the national scale is kind of just, I guess, kind of just through my involvement through Arizona. We got recognized and I ran for the national board. And so last year I was the co-vice president, and this year I'll be the co-president, which is really exciting to lead this organization. Locally within Arizona, in my branch, we have over 100 members. On a national scale of all of ALIS across all states, we have 94 branches and I think about over 3,000 members. But in terms of like total reach, like in general, I'd probably say we've reached at least 10,000 people. And especially since we've been working with donations and, PPE donations in terms of reaching, patients, doctors, that'd be probably at least another few hundred. I definitely say what I've enjoyed the most is meeting new people and creating that community bond, as well as seeing the impact we've made really like be appreciated by the people who receive our donations, or just all the places we've helped out. And although most of the human interaction was obviously before COVID, I still think we've done a pretty good job during COVID of still holding a lot of activities that are social distanced and safe, and still creating that community bond. So that's something I've really enjoyed. I think with running an organization like this, definitely there's the business skills. So like marketing, communications, leadership skills like delegation and, being open-minded. So those skills are definitely things that I think will help me in the future, not only in, college, but also in whatever career I decide to go into in the future. I'd say also just working with so many people is helping to develop people skills, which again, no matter what you go into, that's really helpful. Yeah, so those are the skills I think that I've learned so far. So originally I'd say my interests were with medicine. I'd always been a pre-med person, but after really engaging with this business side and learning about nonprofit management, I'm much more leaning towards going into business in college and as a career. So I think being able to practice that in a student-run nonprofit and learning about that from other student leaders has been really helpful. And I think that's how I've been connected to my interest in business and how it's kind of redirected my interests as well. Okay, yeah, so I'd say since I've been working especially with this nonprofit, I think it's opened my eyes towards the importance of community service and volunteering. I know a lot of, like in the future, when I'm applying for jobs and going into the workforce, I know there are a lot of companies who take into consideration community service volunteering as part of their culture. And I think when I'm, going into jobs in the future, that's something I definitely want to be aware about. And also if I'm considering starting my own business, making sure that there's a culture of giving back to the community. That's something that's opened my eyes from this experience and something I want to, just be more aware about. And I think that's what ALIS has helped me kind of ask questions about. Yeah, so I say I'm before A-List, I've always been a very introverted person. I didn't really like reaching out to people. But when it comes to, taking on leadership and trying to run in a successful organization, obviously, I'd say in general, extroverts are more not valued more, but they're definitely at an advantage when it comes to doing things like this. So really just putting myself out there and becoming more vulnerable and not afraid to take chances and stepping out of my comfort zone. That's something else that my project has helped me to improve upon. So in terms of expansion physically, obviously like more members, especially expanding towards states that don't already have A-List, because a lot of our branches are like in California or on the East Coast, not a lot in the middle region of the US. But in terms of other expansion ideas, I think there's a lot of improvement I know I've targeted community bond, and I think there's definitely a community bond within each branch. So like my Phoenix branch, we all know each other, but within a total national organization, I think that's something else we could grow upon and expand upon, being more bonded, which obviously has its limitations given the distance and COVID, but that's something else I think we could expand upon. Yeah, so obviously it's a student-run nonprofit. There's still things we can improve upon and expand upon. And like I said, working towards a greater national identity and bond. But I also think since A-List has a pretty broad mission, just bettering our communities, I would, in the future, I think it would be awesome to implement and see new projects that are targeted towards more specific areas. For example, girls in STEM or mental health, things like that. Being able to target a specific area of the community that could really help rather than kind of just a very broad message and mission.